Open Security Concepts, Free Software Fundamentals Part 1. How you doing? My name is Marcus Carey and I will be guiding you through this lesson. In this lesson, we'll cover the following topics: the Free Software Foundation, the GNU operating system, GNU Linux history, free software versus open source, and GNU licenses. The Free Software Foundation. In January of 1984, Richard Stallman started an effort to create the GNU operating system. Now, GNU is a recursive acronym for GNU's Not Unix. Now, that name right there tells you a lot. What Richard Stallman is trying to do is he's trying to create a non-proprietary, free software where all the software was free and you could change and modify the code. That was the goal of it. And the Free Software Foundation was also founded by Richard Stallman in October of 1985 as a non-profit corporation. The Free Software Foundation's initial purpose was to raise funds to pay engineers, computer scientists to write the GNU operating system. Now, by 1990, all the major components for the GNU operating system were found or written except for the kernel. Now, the kernel was admittedly a challenge for the GNU project, but in 1991, a Unix-like kernel was developed by Linus Torvalds. Now, the GNU project, what they they actually had created a lot of software that ran on Unix. So since the Linux kernel was very Unix-like, it was probably going to be a smooth mesh. And in 1992, Linux was made free. Now, by combining GNU and Linux, it created the GNU Linux operating system. Now, GNU Linux is sometimes incorrectly referred to as Linux, where Linux is actually just the kernel, so there's no operating system without the GNU portion of it, so it's GNU Linux is the proper term. The GNU project is not limited to the GNU operating system. As actually, the GNU project has created a lot of different kind of software, business apps, all the way down to video games. And you can visit fsf.org or you can visit gnu.org for more information. Now, some of the free software, OpenOffice, Mozilla, Firefox, a lot of these are definitely really good replacements for some top level corporate corporate software. So PHP and Perl are very popular scripting language. Apache is the most popular web server on the internet. Wireshark is definitely very popular in the protocol analysis arena for networking, and Snort is a very popular IDS. MySQL is an excellent SQL database engine. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is free software versus open source. Free software users have freedom, and that's right, freedom to run a program, change the program, and redistribute the program. Open source means that the code is open for review, but there's no freedom. So with open source, there's no freedom. Now the Free Software Foundation likes to say, think of free speech, not free beer. And my spin on this is, when you give somebody a free beer, they can drink the beer, but once they drink the beer, they can't give the beer to somebody else. And that's how license is on a lot of open source software. If you use that license on your machine, you can't give that to somebody else legally. So what I compare the free software is, just imagine if you gave somebody a beer brewery where they can make as much beer as they wanted to, and they can actually change the ingredients of the beer. So that's what free software is. You can make as many as you want. You can copy it, change it, redistribute it, all you want. It's just like somebody giving you a brewery. It's probably not going to happen, but free software is definitely good. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the general public license. Now, the general public license, if you create software and you want people to share and change and contribute to your software, you want to do a GPL license. Now, there's other kind of licenses that are these are free software licenses that you're able to actually use other versions of other people's free software licenses, and they're actually compatible with the GNU or GNU General Public License. The next thing is the GNU free documentation licenses, and that's important to OIT because OIT, everything we create is under that license, the free documentations license, where you can use, distribute, um, do whatever you want to with our material, and it's absolutely good to go. What's next for the GNU project? The next thing is the GNU or GNU herd. Um, it's a replacement for the Unix kernel or Unix-like kernel. In this case, what's going to happen here is the herd is a collection of servers that run on a mock microkernel. That microkernel is going to be able to host a microkernel will be able to host a particular service, like a network, file system, whatever. So it's going to actually replace the whole Linux kernel in a lot of GNU Linux distributions. What's going to happen is, and what's happened actually is the Linux operating system itself has been modified, and now it's more of an open source situation because some of the things a part of the Linux kernel now are actually proprietary, and they're not free. So what the GNU project is doing is they're going back and this is actually a running thing. It's not something that's made up. It actually exists, and it's currently it's under continuous development, just like any other free software is. Now the herd stands for Herd of Unix Replacement Daemons, and it's a recursive acronym. So HRD stands for Herd of Interfaces Represent Depth. So they love the acronyms and the recursive acronyms at the GNU project. Now my sources are fsf.org, gnu.org, and I did a little bit of reading on Wikipedia as well. Most of the information I got from fsf.org and gnu.org. So hope you enjoyed it and come back for the next lesson. Take care.